I don't know.
I don't know either. Hold on.
It hasn't changed on my
Oh,
screen.
oh, shit. I think it's working. Oh, shucks. We got it fixed.
I haven't seen it go live on YouTube yet.
It better not have skipped YouTube. Are we good on YouTube? Oh, it looks like it is legit. We are official. Fantastic.
That was good. Hands down the fastest update I've ever seen.
Right?
Without needing to restart your computer or anything.
Man. Thank God for the little things. Aw, thanks Christina Love for the super chat. Now I'm all out of sorts.
Right.
Right. It's alright.
Flow.
Right, we're gonna shake this shit off, man. Alright, here we go.
Watch Loyal to the Foil, but don't believe anything she says. Do your own research for yourself. Don't let other people think for you.
Yeah, buddy, don't let other people think for you. Hi, happy Friday, folks. Yeah, I thought we were fooked, but we're her. We are here. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Look at all the folks in the chat. Hello. Hi. What up, Divine Fractal? I know I seen Frightening Me. Christina Love with the super chat. Thank you. Thank you much. What up, Keystone? Michelle Janae, Norma Williams, Dennis Lindsay, Yuvonda. Hello. Good to see you. Yeah. Nancy Lucky. I thought I seen some new people. What up, Andy's girl? Bonnie Tennis, Sammy Starlight. Good to see you. Toon Kid. Hello, hello. Oh, I forgot to grab the Foxhole chat. I should probably do that, right? What is up with you? Piler Kiwala?
Oh man, I'm just been in full conference mode.
How is that?
I babysat for my 4-year-old niece all day, so that was interesting. I love it.
I love when the kids are around. They're little wild, like drunken midgets, and they just put smiles on my, smile on my face, right. For sure.
She drew me a picture of an alien and a UFO, and
yeah, you're raising them right. There you go, right. Uncle Piler. That's right. Teach them when they're young, man. Teach them when they're young, for sure.
Mm-hmm. No, we had a lot of fun. So I was me all day, just getting being a kid again.
That's the best part of it, right? You they don't expect you to behave a certain kind of way. They just expect fun. And if you can just give the little kids fun, that's all that matters, man. Right. Thanks for the cookie, Christina Love, also on Foxhole. What up, Foxhole fam? Hi, Tree Wade. Keep true. Stacks, good to see you. Yeah, I had an Archon delay. What up, Rainbow Snuggle Fritz? Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you here. Hello. Yeah, so it's Good Friday. So to those of you that are celebrating, blessed Good Friday to you. Yeah, so what else? So I had something I didn't write a question on, but I wanted to run this by you, Piler, because this was new information to me.
All right.
So did you know that dolphin-assisted birthing is a thing?
Yes.
Why did I not know this?
Yeah, there's a place you can go in Hawaii.
In Hawaii. Yeah, right, the Sirius Institute, apparently.
Right. Yeah, and real dolphins actually assist with pregnancies underwater, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. So there was a guy, Russian guy, was apparently did like 20,000 dolphin assisted births in the Black Sea at some point. Igor Charkovsky, something like that. Yeah, said the dolphins would swim up and scan the mother like with their little, I don't know, do little sonar, beep, 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 whatever it is that
Yeah.
they do, right? And
Right.
that they would then assist with, and the baby would come out just free, birthed into salt water, apparently. It would just
Yeah.
come out, and then the dolphins would, hang out and love the mother and the kid. So, like, I had no idea.
Right. And apparently, I don't remember what I read about it, but there's like the children who are born like that, like um experience like they're I don't know if they mature quicker. I forgot. There's something that happens with all of them that is like measurably different than the normal
I
birth.
wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it for
I don't
sure.
remember what it was. I'd actually like to. It's been so long since I read about that. I forgot that
I
I'd like to.
saw a meme on Twitter today, so and I was like, "Nuh-uh." I was like, "That's totally not a thing." I looked it up.
That's
I
a
was like,
real
"That's
thing. Yeah.
that's actually a thing, right?" I should have known. Should have
Right.
known,
I
right?
forgot about it until you said something actually. But yeah,
Man, right? The things we forget to think about. Like, there's so much random information in the world that you just have to
I
put
just
some of it in
watched.
your brain attic until it's time to recall it.
I just had to watch Barbie Dolphin Magic today. Is about these rare gemstone dolphins that live
Ooh,
with the mermaids.
of course they do.
Yeah.
Barbie Dolphin Magic, right?
Something like that. I
There
don't
you
know.
go.
And then my niece is like, if I was talking during one of the parts, she's like, "Shh, this is an important part."
Like,
Yeah.
listen, Uncle Piler, we've got to pay attention now.
um, Higher IQ born in water. That's what Divine Fractal said.
I mean, probably, probably, probably a lot less traumatic. Also, going from a liquid state to a dry state, screaming your lungs out like, "Ah, what just happened?" You don't even know what just happened. What's up, Matthew? Good to see you. Yeah, it was crazy, crazy stuff, man.
So, watch the water, huh? Did you watch it?
No, I did not.
I did.
Tell me about
Um,
that.
I could go either way. I don't. I think. I mean, a lot. He showed evidence and backed up every single one of his claims. It wasn't.
Oh,
They
yes,
were
I did. What am I saying? I was there the whole time for part two.
no. Watch the water. The documentary.
Documentary. No, I did not. Sorry. For
Right,
some
right,
reason,
right.
I.
Anyway,
Okay.
where he's trying to say that the COVID is snake venom.
Yes. No, I have not
Right.
watched it yet. Everybody kept telling
Right.
me, you have to go
Some
watch it.
people think it's just it was put out to muddy the waters of the people. I don't know. I feel like I could go either way on it. Obviously, like take everything with a grain of salt. But some of the stuff seemed pretty valid. Other things, it just kind of maybe, you know. But it was
I
it
don't
was
know, man.
fascinating regardless. Watch it because I mean he literally like it makes sense. He even says like there's nothing that you can't trace back to snake venom. And like he shows all of his research. So
Huh. Yeah, I will
um
definitely. I will definitely watch it
his
so I can put my 2 cents in. You know, I don't like to talk about shit I don't know.
right,
So,
right,
but I will
right.
definitely watch it and put my 2 cents in. He's saying that the actual virus or the jab is based
It,
on.
no, the virus itself. It was never from. He said, well, if you go all the way back to the beginning,
Eh.
he said if you go all the way back to the beginning, there was all these articles about the virus being from a snake, from snake venom, but all those got fact checked, but they were pushing the bat narrative. So he said right off the bat, that's the first red flag.
But do you remember all that work I did when I traced the publications of Dr. Shi Zhengli, the chick doctor at the Wuhan lab that has been working on manipulating this specific coronavirus since the early 2000s. And I mean, I pulled probably 20 or 25 peer-reviewed published articles in scientific journals, and you could trace her work, the modifications that they made to an original strain of virus, how it would develop and turn into SARS. Then you could trace more modifications. They end up with mares. You trace more modifications, and boom, now we're here. Like, there is a linear progression in her work. What she did from the early 2000s, the SARS outbreak, the mares outbreak, and now we're at now, you can see it. You can see the modifications that she made and how we ended up where we're at. So I'll watch it,
It's worth it.
but it's going
I
to be a
definitely.
hard watch for me because I'm firmly entrenched in the idea that they manipulated the hell out of that shit. It was specifically her line of work that did this.
Well, what he was saying is what is it? Remdesivir,
Remdesivir.
remdesivir. It has the exact same effects as snake venom,
Now
and
I have seen people say that.
even even in the vial, it looks exactly identical. The same yellow
Like,
tint,
yeah,
everything, and everything that happens to the body when you take however you say it,
remdesivir.
remdesivir also happens with a snake bite. I don't know. Just watch it. I mean,
I'm gonna check
I
it
see
out, guys. I'm not gonna pay. I see Keystone. I'm
it's
gonna
fit.
watch it.
It's 50-50. Some people think it's Matthew says, "Oh Lord, snake venom theory." Uh, yeah, people think it's skeptical. I mean, yeah, be skeptical about everything right now. A lot of
Suki,
people don't
thanks for
like
the shades. Hi.
a
Yes,
lot of
Stu
people
P.
don't like
He's the one that had it
stupid.
originally. Was Stu, right? That was on there.
Right. Well, this guy didn't just come out of nowhere. He's actually been traveling, speaking with credible doctors for a really long time.
Okay.
I don't know, for a really long time. It's since COVID started, and he's been speaking publicly on specifically remdesivir, but and then it led him into
I will check it
discovering
out.
stuff.
I will
Yeah,
check it out, guys. I will definitely check it out. Thank you, Suki, for the shades. Good to see you. And the cookies, and the cookie, and the another cookie. What up, Dem Turn Red? Good to see you. What up, Capable? Yeah, I will definitely check it out, guys. I know.
Matthew's right. Matthew's right though. He said, "Don't worry, guys. Next month there will be a new, even more exciting story."
I know,
That's very
right?
true. That's very
There will
true.
be. There will
There's going
absolutely be.
there's going to be that until we die.
Right?
I mean,
You know, it'll
that's
be, mutant onion based or
right.
something, or
Planet. This is going to be nicknamed in history Planet Trigger Event.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, right? I have so we have I did you I have some crazy questions for the peeps today. I don't know what about you. I found some really wild stuff for us to talk about today. Suki with all the cookies, thank you, Mama. Much love to you. Uh, and this isn't this is almost as weird as snake venom, to be sure. But let's just start out with this, okay? Uh, the government, a government radio station in what country recently told its people that cockroach milk is nutritious? No joke, right?
No idea.
Right? A government radio station in what country recently told its people that cockroach milk is nutritious?
What
Is
makes something a government radio station?
government funded.
Okay.
They got government funding, right? I don't know. Like, I can even though National Public Radio, that shit's government funded all day. Radio Free
Right, right.
Asia, whatever, Radio Free
I got
Europe,
you.
like government
Yeah.
funded. Yeah, in what country was it? A, Venezuela, B, Montenegro, C, Saudi Arabia, or D, Cuba? Thanks, Dem Turn Red, for the phone and the cookie. Much love to you. Thanks for the love, you guys. I appreciate
I'm
it.
gonna guess Saudi Arabia.
All right, seems legit. Yeah. If I told you what continent it was, Keystone, that would kind of give it away, right? Let's see. So yeah, cockroach milk. Government radio station in what country recently told its people that cockroach milk is nutritious? Was it Venezuela, Montenegro, Saudi Arabia, or Cuba?
I don't know. You're
Frightening
gonna
Me
have to
says
tell us.
insects don't produce milk, mammals do. Oh, we're gonna learn stuff today, right? Uh, everybody want to know how the fuck you milk cockroaches. The answer is Cuba. I see a lot of people guessing Venezuela. Yeah, that would have been my second guess, right? Cuba, right? So this is crazy. And it would be one of these socialist just screwed countries like, guys, listen, we don't need cows. Just milk a cockroach. Okay, it's going to be fine. So there was a publication on March 28th of this year. It was an online edition of Radio Guama, which is Pinar del Rio's main radio station. They, they made a comment about cockroach milk uh, ending up being one of the most popular internet searches in Cuba because it was mentioned live on radio that it was nutritious. So they were talking about a crystallized milk like substance that a species of cockroach produces, a compound that could be considered a superfood. Okay? So they're talking about a crystallized form. They're referring to it as milk, right? But if you look up what would it be like la leche de cucaracha, right? This is like totally a thing. Honest to God. Honest to God.
That's funny.
Right? So, and this isn't new. Apparently, the first time cockroach milk went viral was in 2016. Researchers from the Institute of Biology, Stem Cell, and Regenerative Medicine in India had discovered that it could be the best superfood. My question is, what the hell made you want to figure that out in the first place? Like, if you see cockroaches producing some sort of crystal
Right.
stuff, at what point do you say, I wonder if I could eat this? Like, who who drew this study up? Like, that is the most horrible thing I've ever heard in my life.
Somebody was a survivalist.
Man, right? Probably. I mean, but
figure out what you can survive on.
But they want us to eat the bugs. Like, this is coming. I see somebody saying, like, what they just say, ground up bugs. Like, they are pushing bug stuff on us already, guys.
Why? So, for parasites?
What? No, I mean, as a protein supplement.
Yeah.
Just wait. Just wait. Right? What did we see when meat was running low during the pandemic and the cicadas were coming out, and there were all those articles about how you can make cicada salad. You can eat the cicadas. It's fine. Like da 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 da. Like, they're going to push insects as protein replacement on us very soon. Right? It's going to be like, damn, what was that movie? Snowpiercer.
Well, the whole thing about protein is a psyop within itself. Like, no one has ever died of a protein deficiency. It's like a huge marketing scam.
But the guy you need protein to live? The
guy who invented the protein shake was on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Oh, and I bet.
Said that, he goes, it blew up. He goes, I only made it for bodybuilders who were spending literally all day in the gym and they weren't eating properly. And guys were competing in bodybuilding competitions. So I created a protein shake for them. So, and then people saw them drinking this shake. They saw their body. And this was way back in whatever years ago, decades ago. And he goes, it turned into something that he never imagined. He goes, I work out every day. I never drank a protein shake. You don't need, he goes, he literally said, he goes, no one has ever died of a protein deficiency. He said they have turned this into the biggest marketing ploy ever. Like, they are making so much money off of making people think they need protein, and we need very little protein.
Man, I don't know. So, right? I don't know.
Theory.
I like steak. I feel like I need it. I might die without it. Not 100% on that. I'm just saying.
Well, and then that's another thing. That's the vegan argument. You know, any meat is recycled protein because the animals get their protein from the grass, from the greens.
Right.
So you're getting recycled protein even when you eat meats. So if you just eat greens, then you're getting just as much protein, but pure protein from the source. Anyway.
Man. Yeah. So cockroach milk, guys.
I digress.
It's totally going to be a thing, right? Totally going to be a thing. It's going to be fine.
Cockroach milk.
Yeah, right. La leche de cucarachas. It's going to be great.
Give me a gallon.
Right?
Give me a gallon.
Oh, God.
All right. Let's see. In a, hang on a sec.
Thanks, Suki.
Okay. In 2003, a CIA document / document of the Army document was declassified, disclosing what shocking truth about our existence.
Ooh.
So in 2003, a CIA Department of the Army document was declassified, disclosing what shocking truth about our existence. A, we live in a simulation. B, the world is a hologram. C, the Earth is hollow, or D, the sun is not hot and has a cold fusion core.
I'm going to go with a D. The sun is not hot.
Let's see what we get in the whatever, Tyler. I need meat. I'm not saying don't eat meat. I'm not against that at all. I'm just saying it's ironic how we've been programmed to believe that we have to eat meat to get protein.
I have to eat meat. The program is complete with me. I just want you to know, but not complete enough to have me eating bugs and shit though. Like they have
Right.
failed miserably. I will eat a person first. I'm just telling you now. Oh,
Um,
thanks for all the cookies, Sookie.
I don't know. I quit eating meat for about a year, and I'm back on. And whenever I got back on, it was the most amazing. It
I
was like a
bet.
the first thing I had back was the worst thing after a year of not eating. I had hamburger bacon pizza, and I got super sick, but it was amazing. Like I'm like, oh my god, this is
What was
so
I
good.
doing?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
I know. Second guessing your whole life.
But I really got sick after that because when you don't eat it for so long, your body doesn't know how to react.
Man.
Um, so the answer is B. The world is a hologram.
Ah. Oh
This
well. Oh,
was,
holographic. Yeah, I can see that. I can
and
see
here
that.
I'll read a little bit from what they're saying about it, just so you can know where they're coming from here. So it was a declassified document where the CIA explains consciousness, the matrix, how the world is a hologram, and telepathy. And this is approved for release in 2003 by the Department of the Army, U.S. Army Operational Group, U.S. Army Intelligence and Security Command, um, Fort George, Maryland, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But so this is an actual declassified document you can go and find. The first part of it talks about, part of it talks about consciousness and energy. It says, before our explanation can proceed any further, it is essential to define the mechanism by which the human mind exercises the function known as consciousness, and to describe the way in which that consciousness operates to deduce meaning from the stimuli which it receives. So before they even get into the explanation of the holographic universe and holographic world, they have to give you an entire spiel on consciousness. Like, so this is incredible information coming from a CIA document, declassified CIA document, which
Oh,
changes
I'm gonna
everything.
need the link to that if you have it for sure. I want to read
Yeah,
that.
I will. Uh, so then they go in and say there's a whole section on holograms. Energy creates, stores, and retrieves meaning in the universe by projecting or expanding at certain frequencies in a three-dimensional mode that creates a living pattern called a hologram. The concept of the hologram could be most easily understood by using an example, and it goes through all this scientific stuff. And it said, holograms are capable of encoding so much detail that, for example, it is possible to take a holographic projection of a glass of swamp water and view it under magnification to see the small organisms not visible to the naked eye. So you can see organisms under a microscope of a hologram that you can't see with your naked eye. That's just how detailed these holograms can get. The whole concept of uh, holography, despite its
Hmm.
scientific implications, examined or has only been known to. Sorry, I lost myself there. The whole concept of holography, despite its scientific implications, has only been known to the physicists since the underlying mathematical principles were worked out by Dennis Gabor in 1947. Anyway, there's a whole document about they're literally trying to tell you that we live in a hologram.
There
Um,
is a guy, and I cannot for the life of me think of what his name is right now, but his he came out, and there's a series of videos on this called it's his TOE, Theory of Everything, right? If somebody knows the name of the guy I'm talking about, frightening me, I reckon you will. Oh, he's already got the doc linked in the chat. Thank you. Uh, um, yeah, it's his TOE. my big toe, my big theory of everything. And he goes into a lot of the same information. It's really well done. Holograms are interesting because the smallest part of a hologram contains the information of the whole, right? Which is kind of what
Right.
you were getting at when you were
Right.
saying about.
It talks about that. Yeah.
Mhm.
How it all contains so much
Yes.
information. Yeah.
Yeah, like the entirety of the information is contained in the smallest bit. I mean, that is the nature of a hologram. And I mean, that's what it talks about. That this is a simulation. It's a projection, it's a hologram, like, but and then it goes in, he talks about the nature of consciousness. It sounds like it really aligns with that link. I'm going to drop it in the Foxhole chat so the people can have it too. Hold on.
I think Elon Musk said we're doing. What did he say? We're living in
Yeah.
a simulation.
Yeah, we don't live in base reality. And this is his
Right. Right.
argument. I mean, we've seen like thanks, Suki. We've seen, like, just look at where we've come from, like 8-bit Nintendo graphics to, like,
No. Yeah.
realistic in how long? Like, if you continue to compute the exponential increase and how much better these simulations are getting in such a short period of time, it makes sense that there's no way that we could possibly be in the base reality. Like, the odds of us being in a base reality are little to none. We're probably in somebody's simulation, right?
Well, I like what Amphibious Boggs said. Well, isn't the universe a 17 trillion-year-old hologram according to Alex Collier? I mean, that's just secondhand information, but it's still, who knows if there's any truth to that, then yeah, definitely we're hologram.
I could probably totally buy that. Honest to God.
Well, I mean, this document, I don't know how many pages it is, but it builds a case, and it's not just coming from anyone. This is
Yeah, well,
declassified.
yeah, it's only 30 pages long, guys. Sorry, I don't know what happened to the link I tried to put in the Foxhole, but there.
You found the document?
Frightening Me had
Oh,
posted
okay.
it almost immediately.
Oh, sweet,
So
sweet.
yeah, it's in the YouTube chat, guys,
There's
if you want it.
there's also a YouTube video that breaks down. Yeah, that's it. And there's also a YouTube video that breaks it down too. So if you guys need help with that, Foil can put that.
Where are you putting it? Telegram?
No, I gotta send it to you.
There you go. Yeah. So I mean, Keystone says, does it make a difference for us it being a hologram? I don't think so. I think you still behave. You know, the, you still, moral guidelines. All of these things are still important. I don't care if we're a hologram or if we're a dream in somebody else's dream. Like,
Right,
the
right. We're
things we
still
believe
here.
matter. Yeah. I
We're
mean,
still here doing what we're doing. Just like somebody said earlier, like snake venom, bat. Like, what's the difference?
right,
Like
right.
really?
Okay, Hillary. At this point, what difference does it make? Right,
Right.
right.
So I just sent you that on Telegram,
All right.
Foil.
Let me.
Actually, I can take it from there and put it in the chat if you don't want to.
Oh, I got it. Look at that. Pow. There you guys go. So if you're
That's a
interested,
great. It's a great video. It's not that long either. It kind of gives you the gist of it. Yeah.
yeah, that's great. Mary Mai says, "What are the implications of a holographic world?" Uh, I mean, I don't know that it makes. There's still there's well, I think I mean, there's obviously somebody in control at that point. You know, there's a creator now. Whether it's you know what we think, like, omnipresent, omniscient, all powerful God creator. I mean, I guess it would fit that definition, right?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it makes any difference to how you live your life, though. Or
No,
that,
it doesn't. Most of this information doesn't. A
no.
lot. Some of it does. Like you have to be awake until a certain point, but a lot of this stuff, it's like, okay, why do I even need to know a quarter of this stuff? Like, what's it doing? Like, if anything, it's distracting you from doing what you're supposed to be doing.
I have a friend that I used to go on, like, these, like, I'd get mad about something and I'd be on an hour and a half long conspiracy rant, and he'd sit there like, and he'd listen. And then at the end, he'd be like, man, do I still have to go to work tomorrow? I'm like, damn, bruh. Yeah, you do. Like, sorry. Yeah, nothing changes. Like, thank you for listening to my hour and a half long rant. But yes, you still have to go to work tomorrow. I understand it
Mhm.
does not
Right.
fundamentally make, a difference in what goes on during your day, but it's interesting to play around with, I guess.
All
Um,
right, your turn.
right. Well, this might make a difference in your day. Okay. This now since we were talking about talking about crazy food, researchers in Iceland are growing over 100,000 genetically modified barley plants inside a greenhouse for what very unusual purpose? Okay, researchers in Iceland are growing over 100,000 genetically modified barley plants inside a greenhouse for what very unusual purpose? Is it A, to propagate in the lunar regolith, B, to create lab grown meat, C, to test a strain that grows without water, or D, to test the efficacy of a plant based vaccine?
Man, I don't know.
Right? What are they messing with the barley for,
I
pilot? Tell
I,
me.
I want to say plant-based meat because that's like a big thing now. But the last one also, what'd you say? A plant-based vaccine?
Hmm.
Uh, could be B or D.
Right? Either or. Let's see. Heart
Yeah.
Whisper says D. And beer. Yeah, I know, right? That's what was my first thought. Like, why are y'all messing
Right.
with the barley for? Everybody's saying D.
Right. D.
D probably, right?
Well, it would make sense. Anything they're doing now for vaccines. Yeah.
Well, I did a whole video on that. The molecular farming video that I did, like, I don't know, like 100 people saw it, but it was really well done and it talked about all of that. The whole plant-based vaccine thing, that's entirely true. Unfortunately, that's not the answer in this case, right? It is to create lab-grown meat,
Yes.
right?
So I
Right?
was one of my two. Why am I
Right?
celebrating? I had two. I had two
Right?
guesses.
Yeah. Well, I mean, out of the four, that's good.
Yeah.
Almost, man, almost. Right? Yeah. So apparently, they're growing this to create lab-grown meat. So this altered barley gets harvested and then purified to extract growth factor proteins, which in turn are used to cultivate lab-grown meat, right? Which will apparently make the lab-grown meat industry rely even less on live animals in the future. So the company that's behind this, ORF Genetics, is growing this biogenetically engineered barley. They've got like a 22,000 square foot greenhouse. They've got these high tech, like hydroponic cultivation, bays that they're using. And so these growth factors, thank you for the super chat, Heart Whisper, much love to you. These growth factors they extract from the seeds actually play an important role in the maintenance of stem cells. And this same company in 2010, this ORF, they had a skincare product that made use of these growth factor proteins to affect cells in your face, right? But I mean, now they're using it. They're saying that if scientists can figure out how to produce it at scale, that lab grown meat would have, a much easier time being applied to the population, right? They
It
don't
would
have.
be lab grown meat would support our would be much better
Oh,
for our
that's their
satanic
goal.
agenda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what they're saying, right? Yeah.
Right. That's it.
Yeah. They don't
3D
have to
printed
kill
meat.
the animals. They just take. Apparently, they say we don't have to kill all these animals. We just have to take the stem cells from them. Well, that sounds perfectly fine. Then we're just taking their stem cells. That'll be fine.
Right.
Right, yeah. And according to the BBC, RF's growth factors are already being used by several companies making lab-grown meat products. Imagine that,
Ew.
right? Ew. Since we're talking about cockroach milk and
Right.
barley-based lab-grown meat today,
All
I don't
right.
know what the hell's
Here we
going on,
go. You
guys.
ready?
Right? Bring it.
In 2001, under the Space Preservation Act, the
Ooh.
US government referred to this as an exotic weapon system.
Hmm.
A. Cell phone towers. B. Television programming. C. Chemtrails. D. Earth observation satellites. In 2001, under the Space Preservation Act, the US government referred to this as an exotic weapon system. A. Cell phone towers. B. Television programming. C. Chemtrails. D. Earth observation satellites.
All of the above?
Probably all the above, but in particular, the Space Preservation
All
Act.
right. What was D?
Earth observation satellites
As an exotic weapon?
system, an exotic weapon system.
Mm, well, I'll go with D, just because you said space. But I mean, cell phone towers seem like they could be weaponized too, of course. Thanks, Sookie, for the cookie. Just add water and you got steak in a cup. That sounds horrible. Horrible. I don't want mushed up, watery steak. I want real from the cow steak. Yes, I'm
So
not a fan of the lab grown meat. Okay.
answer is chemtrails.
Chemtrails. Well, oh, yes. Okay. I remember this. Go
Chemtrails.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Now I'm pissed. Yes, I remember that.
Wait a second. Where did the thing go?
Nova, you missed the cockroach discussion. That was the first question. And it's Cuba, apparently, is all about milking the cockroaches. La cucaracha, la cucaracha. Whatever are the rest of the words? I don't know.
So anyway, the U.S. government names chemtrails as an exotic weapon. After years of denial from, this is an article about it, after years of denial from the government, military, and environmental agencies, the reality of the controversial issue regarding the covert programs known as chemtrails has been acknowledged. On October 2nd, 2001, Congressman Dennis Kucinich.
Yeah, Dennis Kucinich.
Kucinich, yeah. So
this
you
guy.
do know, okay.
Yes.
Right. He introduced blah, 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 blah. The Space Preservation Act seeks to preserve the cooperative, peaceful uses of space for the benefit of all humankind and permanently prohibiting the basing of weapons in space by the United States, and they required a president to take action and implement a world treaty banning space-based weapons. In the bill, chemtrails are listed as an exotic weapon system. So ironically, they're telling you everything, they've been denying the chemtrails existence, but in this bill, they had to acknowledge it as an exotic weapon.
Yes, they did. I remember that.
Right.
I remember that. Dennis Kucinich was from Ohio.
It also recognizes such things as particle beams, electromagnetic radiation, plasma, or extremely low frequency ELFs, or extreme or ultra low frequency ULF radiation as mind control weapons.
Which is funny, considering that they use that shit now anyway. And, you know,
right.
Laura and I pulled those documents. We're talking about the injuries that can be caused by, well, you know, they were saying all these people were injured from exposure to UFOs, whatever. The ELF and ULF frequencies cause damage similar to the stuff they were talking about in that report also.
Well, ELFs are what comes from our cell phone towers, basically. The 5G towers, the ELF towers.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right.
Guys, they love us. They just want what's best for us. Don't you know? All this conspiracy talk, it's you know, hoopla, I tell you.
They
weaponize bunnies, flowers, pillows. Yes, definitely they have weaponized pillows at this point.
Above. Yeah, my pillow.
I was just gonna say promo code POSO if you're bored. Go over there and get you a My Pillow. Well, since we're talking about crazy documents and things that have been reported, okay, I got one for you. 3 newly released CIA reports from 1963 and 1964 investigate the Soviet Union's apparent use of what? Okay. Is it A, cybernetic telepathy, B, number stations, C, an interdimensional portal system, or D, an alien beacon?
Read the question, please, again.
3 newly released CIA reports from 1963 and 1964 investigate the Soviet Union's apparent use of what? A, cybernetic telepathy, B, number stations, C, an interdimensional portal system, or D, an alien beacon?
I'm going to go with C, just for fun.
Just for fun. Right? Let's see. I'm seeing B, C. No chemtrails there today, Sookie? It should have rained everything out yesterday.
Yeah, they've been terrible here.
Oh, I know. I thought it was going to make it all the way to us. It did not this time. But for the past few weeks, it has.
The chemtrails.
Oh, I thought you meant the storms. The chemtrails?
Well,
yeah.
And it's been Nothing but shitty weather also, yeah.
Imagine that. What am I seeing? A, C, A, B, D. Yes, it is A. It is cybernetic telepathy. Okay. So these documents were uncovered. This was courtesy of Freedom of Information Act, um, from the website Government Attic, right? Which apparently posts all kinds of crazy stuff you can go check out. Um, so these three reports are about conversations that an agent had with a Soviet cybernetics researcher and a visiting foreign exchange student. So today, the word cybernetics is like, um, I don't know, they say it's associated with science fiction in this article. I don't necessarily buy that. I think it's totally a thing. But in the early
100%.
1960s, right? In the 60s, though, it was just like a broad term then. They covered any kind of scientific endeavor that was trying to understand feedback loops in humans and machines. Um, so some in the US and the Soviet Union thought it might be possible to cut out the middleware of a language and just set up direct communication between humans and machines via telepathy, right? Do we not have that now with like Neuralink and brain machine, brain computer interfaces? It's the same
Right.
damn thing, right? But in the 60s, this was like some far flung tech, right? So according to the CIA's conversations with the Soviets, it didn't work out so well there. Um, the scientist that was working on this, D.A. Kermanoff, he described one experiment where researchers in the USSR were able to tape the central nervous system signals of a man playing a piano, then broadcast those messages back into the arms of another person who had never played piano before. The person would be enabled to play the music, but would also retain some of the skill as permanent learning,
Really?
which is crazy, right? So I mean
That's
that's interesting,
Matrix shit there.
right? That's exactly right,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
Which is crazy. So I mean that whole idea in the might have been based on the work by D.A. Kermanoff and the Soviets. I mean, can you imagine taping somebody's nervous system as they're playing a piano and then uploading it to another person and then they learn how to play? That's crazy,
And then cybernetic organisms were popularized by Terminator.
right? Right? Yeah, man. Stuff that can you imagine taking somebody from the 50s like that really and just not somebody that lived from the 50s through just pick them up from the 50s and drop them off here, they'd be like, what the hell kind of
Right.
place is
Right.
this?
The only thing they
Right,
recognize is the Converse.
man.
The Converse would still be the same.
Right,
Everybody's still
exactly the
wearing the
same.
same shoes.
That's it. Shoes have not changed,
Yeah.
right? Other than that, they'd be totally blown away. Like, what is this weird place?
All right. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
After the completion of the mandatory 25-year waiting period in 2007, two cassette tapes were declassified by the DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, containing recordings of which U.S. president being briefed on crashed alien discs and extraterrestrials. So in 2007, two cassette tapes were declassified by the DIA containing recordings of which U.S. president being briefed on crashed alien discs and extraterrestrials. A. Truman. B. Eisenhower. C. Kennedy. D. Reagan.
I'm going with D, Reagan, and I'm guessing we're talking about the caretaker documents. Just taking a wild guess here. Oh, Blade Runner's another good one, right?
Blade Runners, that's some SSP uh,
Man,
disclosure. How he remembers a whole life, like his
right?
memory wiped. Yeah, and it's like the same exact
Well,
shit that.
Elon is saying now, like you'll be able to upload and download memories. What up, Brooklyn? Good to see you. Glad you're here.
So we
Yeah,
have
you'll be able to
Truman,
upload and download memories soon. So
Reagan, Eisenhower. So B, D, A. The answer is, according to Matthew Mornian, definitely Reagan,
woohoo!
and that is the answer. Yes, so he was briefed on, well, the Roswell wreck, basically. But yes, you're right. It is the caretaker. Um,
Have
what do
you
you
read
call it?
them? The caretaker documents? Like, have you read that That is a wild. Like, imagine you're president and you come in and somebody starts telling you, you know. I mean, Reagan was one of the people. Wasn't he one of the presidents that said he saw a UFO?
Yeah. No, I have here in this book a transcript of a portion of the caretaker documents, which is a conversation between the president, and um, who is this? Some like William Casey. Yeah, William Casey. Um, but yeah, so basically, I mean, I could read it all to you, or just give you the gist of it. It's basically a
I mean,
document.
yeah, read some of it. Like, share it with the peeps, because I guarantee there's some people that probably haven't heard it.
Uh, well, there's a lot before you even get to the good stuff. So I wasn't well prepared with this one. That's why. Um, yeah, I'd be reading this forever.
Well, however you want to give us the gist of it, then.
Well, hang on, let me see. Let me get to the point. Tell them a story. Tell them
Tell
a
them a
story
story.
while I find it. Yeah.
Oh man, isn't that crazy? You put me on the spot, and I can literally think of nothing to say. Any other time, I will ramble on for hours about nothing, literally nothing. Uh,
Okay, here we go.
there you go.
I remember. This is like midway through. There's a whole bunch of conversation before they get to this point. Um, Mr. President, as we mentioned earlier, I must say that this briefing has the highest classification within the U.S. government. I will start with a slide presentation. I have most of this briefing on the slides, but I also have an outline that I have passed out to each person in attendance. The United States of America has been visited by extraterrestrials since 1947. We have proof of that. However, we also have some proof that the Earth has been visited for many thousands of years by various races of extraterrestrial visitors. Mr. President, I'll just refer to those visits as ETs. In July 1947, a remarkable event occurred in New Mexico. During a storm, two ET spacecraft crashed. One crashed southwest of Corona, New Mexico, and one crashed near Datil, New Mexico. The U.S. Army eventually found both sites and recovered all the debris and one live alien. I'll refer to this live alien as EB1. President, what does this mean? Do we have codes or special terminology for this? Mr. President, EB means extraterrestrial biological entity. It was a code that designated to this creature by the U.S. Army back in those days. This creature was not human, and we had to decide on a term. For it. So scientists designated the creature as EB1. We also referred to it as Noah. There was different terminology used by various aspects of the U.S. military and intelligence community back then. President, do we or did we have others? The number one would seem to indicate we had others. Yes, we had others. Back then, the term was EB and no number designation. We'll explain how the others came into our knowledge. Okay. Okay, sorry. I was wondering, and I guess, well, I'm sure the briefing will cover this. Please continue. Anyway, it goes on and on and on. It's fascinating.
So the caretaker is supposedly, and I could be, correct me if I'm wrong here. This is the guy that's in charge of giving the ET briefings to the president, right? And like, is this a Majestic
Oh,
12
sorry.
guy?
Wait,
Is this what
stop.
we think?
They're gonna go crazy. The book I always refer to,
Oh
The
yes.
Secret Journey to Planet Serpo, a true story of interplanetary travel. This book is full of so many gems. It's not what you think it is. I refer to this book all the time when I'm researching.
I know
So
you and
anyway,
your
continue.
bookshelf. Now the caretaker guy, isn't this supposed to be one of the 12 guys?
Majestic 12?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and he's the one that's in charge. Like they never, we don't know who it is, whatever. It's all, he's only ever referred to as the caretaker, and then he's the one that gives the information to the press. What up, Aaron Moriarty? Good to see you. Uh, I think, right? I think that's right.
Right, right. And then there's also okay, so there's other conversation. That's William Casey. So there's other people in the conversation, but yeah, the caretaker is who you just described. Yeah. Yeah, it tells you everything about that crash, and it tells it's super fascinating. I could read this whole thing. They probably love it.
If you the entire, like the entirety of the caretaker doc, this shit is crazy. There's
Right.
so much in there. There's so much in there. Well, since we're talking about UFOs, right? Um, I got a question for you. What DoD expert in forensic neuroimaging has dealt with hundreds of patients who were injured or died after interacting with UFOs? Is it A, Christopher Green, B, Lou Elizondo, C, Kathleen Hicks, or D, Ronald Moultrie?
Read the question again.
What DoD expert in forensic neuroimaging has dealt with hundreds of patients who were injured or died after interacting with UFOs? And then is it Christopher Green, Lou Elizondo, Kathleen Hicks, or Ronald Moultrie?
Man, I feel dumb that I don't know this. I feel like I should
It's
know it.
new information. This is one of my things that I got from the news, right?
Is it?
Hmm.
So yeah, no, I don't keep
Don't
up with
feel
any of
bad.
it. Um,
Frightening me, says Gary
I
Nolan.
don't think it's Lou Elizondo. What were the other guesses?
Christopher Green, Lou Elizondo, Kathleen Hicks, or Ronald Moultrie?
I don't know.
Right?
I don't know.
I see. Well, I know the chat's like, right? Yeah, not Greer, right? Not Gary Nolan, right? No, it is Christopher Green, guys. This is probably a name that you will be hearing a little bit more of. So, this is the guy that wrote the paper that Alara and I were talking about on her channel the other day. The clinical, medical, acute, and subacute field effects on human dermal and neurological tissues. Okay. Hundreds of military officers have apparently had injuries, including brain damage and burns, after encounters with UFOs. Right. And this is what this Christopher Green guy had revealed. He's a top brain expert. I love how they describe him. He's a top brain expert and a former CIA officer, so he must be telling the truth. Okay, so he was Professor Christopher Green. He was commissioned around 2010, and this he was dealing with the secret $22 million defense program monitoring UFOs.
Right.
Yeah, OSAP.
Not so secret.
Not so secret, right? And now he did an exclusive interview with the Daily Mail. Okay, he's apparently also a forensic neuroimaging expert. He's worked with the CIA since the 60s, and he said he has dealt with hundreds of patients, including special forces officers and other military personnel that were hurt after interacting with unidentified craft, some of whom later died. Some of the injuries, he said, resembled the mysterious Havana syndrome, which intelligence agencies obviously believe could be a series of clandestine attacks on U.S. diplomats using targeted microwaves, probably Russia or China. But this guy's cases were presented decades before the injuries, the first reported injuries in 2016 at the Cuban embassy, right? So there is an unclassified version of his paper. And like I said, if you guys are interested, we did we covered the document on a video on 1 Foot in 5D the other day. This was actually released last year. It was under a FOIA request. It described multiple symptoms of everything from multiple sclerosis, brain damage, burns that were sustained by patients that had anywhere between CE3 and CE5 events, or sorry, CE3 and CE4 events, right? And even some abductions. Like it was crazy because when we were looking at it, there were 129 abductions that were mentioned in that paper. And obviously, this news has been coming out recently. Congress has approved funding for an official government UFO monitoring program. We're supposed to be getting some updates soon on that. So hopefully, we'll be getting more information. I see all the UFO people are like, 2022 is the year. Like, they're
Yeah.
all on
Well,
YouTube and hyping it up. Like,
look what we've been talking about the whole time of everything being declassified. Like every year has been a year. Like we've gotten so much. Like
I know.
so much. Like the caretaker thing, the Reagan briefing, that is monumental. Like if they brought that back to the public eye and pushed it, that would blow the socks off of some people.
Man,
That,
well, I mean, look at what the Black Vault, like all of those
right.
FOIA requests. I mean,
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of documents, like,
and photos, like
right. At what point are you just like, okay, this is a
Right.
thing. Like,
It's all here. It's just not this big like unveiling like what
no, and
everyone's
it's not
expecting.
tied together in a nice little package like that
Right.
just explains everything from beginning to end. That's what people want is a narrative. That's why the World Economic Forum is so good in pushing their bullshit is because like they present a great
A
narrative.
narrative. Yeah.
Yes, that's what people want is a story, okay? In 1947 this happened and then this and just lay it all out, dumb it down as much as possible for people and then that's the only way they're going to buy it. Now, what I
Right.
will say about this Christopher Green guy's stuff is that it's interesting because even though his paper does make references to like ETs and off world exposures, he also said that every injury that he saw could also be explained by currently existing human technology. He's not saying, the thing that makes a difference is these are respectable military guys that are giving a report of being in contact with something else. But if you took the injuries on their own, and all you had was an injured guy without the report. These injuries could be explained by currently existing human technology.
Right.
So
But
it's
there's
something.
always another explanation. You can find anything you're looking for. I can debunk that chair you're sitting in right now on the
Oh,
internet.
please
I
don't.
can I
I,
can
I need
prove
this
that
chair.
I can prove that it's a hologram and it doesn't exist.
Man,
Like
right? It is.
you can argue, you can find an argument for everything online.
Absolutely.
Here's how
Absolutely.
here's how easy it is. I can create a website, load it up with all my own opinion, stated as fact. Somebody finds that website and
Well, they got one
people,
like that. It's called CNN, I think.
right, right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, though? Like any average Joe can create a website and put information out there now. You know,
Hey,
Uh,
opinions are more facts than facts. Your feelings are more important than facts. Okay? In case nobody's
right,
told you guys, your
right.
feelings are actual facts. There
That's
you go.
true.
Yeah, that's how we're doing it now. It's 2020, 2022. You know,
2022.
it's
All right,
2020, 2022, man.
going back in time with these questions. In 1961, President Kennedy signed into effect what is known as the Kennedy Directive.
Hmm.
Publicly, this was only a memorandum on the need for greater coordination of regional and field activities of the government. Secretly, this directive's true purpose was what?
Hmm.
A. What the heck happened here with my answers? Um, sorry. A. A, dire- a directive for a CIA clone program
Hmm.
in Dulce, New Mexico. B. The official directive for the EBIN, aka Alien Exchange Program. C. Funding for secret U.S. Navy moon missions. Or D. The official directive for the ARV, Alien Reproduction Vehicle Research Program. So I'll read that again. In 1961, President Kennedy signed into effect what is known as the Kennedy Directive. Publicly, this was only a memorandum on the need for greater coordination of regional and field activities of the government. Secretly, this directive's true purpose was what? A directive for a CIA clone program in Dulce, New Mexico. B, the official directive for the EBIN exchange program. C, funding for secret U.S. Navy moon missions. D, the official directive for the ARV, Alien Reproduction Vehicle Research Program.
Hmm.
Sorry, that was a mouthful.
I'm gonna go with moon missions. Maybe moon missions. Right. Final answer.
All right, we got. I want to see people are. I don't know how old these comments are. Repeat. Oh, okay.
Wait.
Matthew, we have Keystone says B. Matthew says, I feel like it was B somehow. Monosolescence, C, D, C, guessing C, D.
Right.
I suspect C because Kennedy seemed like a nice guy.
Lots of B's on Foxhole too. I'm getting some A's, C's, D's. It's all across the board here, man. We don't know. Frightening me says B. So what was B?
B was the official directive for the EBIN exchange program. And we learned what EBINs were in the last question
I feel
with
like
the,
I should go with B because that's what frightening me said. But
the answer is B.
of course it is.
You were right. So the EBIN exchange program was, I'll just tell you
Oh,
about it.
is this the Serpo thing?
Right. But yeah, exactly. This was actually him basically signing into an official directive to allow us an exchange program. We send humans to their planet.
And we sent 13
Right.
dudes,
That's
right? Or was there any
right.
chicks? Just
Yeah,
dudes?
there was apparently a girl. It's 12 or 13. It's debatable, but the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind apparently is like direct disclosure. The ending scene, there's 12 people that board the ship. Even
Okay.
some of the way the language was depicted in that movie was like exactly apparently what it was. But
Gotcha.
even exchange program. Let's see if I can find. I'll just start reading. President Kennedy gave the official directive for the Even Exchange Program. The date for the alien landing has been previously set for April 24th, 1964, and the landing site was to be at the western border of Holloman Air Force Base, adjacent to the southern entrance to the White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico. It was originally planned to be only a diplomatic visit, during which the aliens would also retrieve the bodies of the 9 dead victims of the 2 New Mexico crashes, as well as the body of Eve 1. But President Kennedy decided to request that the event become an exchange program. This request was communicated to the Eben home planet and was approved by them around September 1962. As noted earlier, the exchange program idea was originally put forth by Eve 1 in his fifth message in 1952. In a reply directly to him, the Ebens agreed to a return visit, but did not mention an exchange program. They suggested a date 10 years in the future. This reply may have suffered from the Eve 1's translation, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it goes on to explain that all in great detail. But
So
yes,
the Ebe one, is this the same one we got from Roswell?
yeah, that's the living. Yes, that was the
So those
living,
guys came from Serpo.
what we call Serpo. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah,
What
and
up,
that's
Fearless?
where they discovered they had like there was a lot of our technology like plasma TVs and shit like that. We got a lot of that from them.
Surprise.
But
Right.
they also had a massive cloning facility on that planet where they were doing genetic experiments. And so these Ebes, they can't lie. They literally like can't lie.
That
So
would
when
suck.
they asked them, are you doing this with, do the people know that you're taking them? Because they have a cloning facility with creatures from all over the universe. So what they're doing is the Ebes or Greys, they're literally going to different planets and abducting people unknowingly and bringing them back and doing experimenting on them. And the guy describes walking through one of the rooms where there's just like all these like hybrid mutants that they're
Oh
growing
no.
and experimenting with. But a lot of that information was brought back to Earth. But it's a
Oh
fascinating.
shit.
But it's a
Oh
fascinating.
shit. Why are we frozen?
Are we? How long have we been
I
frozen?
don't know. I can see uh uh I don't know. Are we good on Foxhole? Is it just YouTube?
Looks like we're moving again.
Oh, there it goes. Sorry about that, guys. Right? I was
Right.
so wrapped up in what was going on with the cloning, man. Oh, what's buffering on Foxhole too? I don't know what that was about. Are we good? Are we 5x5 everywhere?
The Eves were listening.
Right?
The Ebens.
Man,
Right.
listen, all these Archon attacks today. I don't know, get off my back, guys. Right?
Yeah. So I don't know what they heard where I stopped, but Matthew Morning and Serpo was wild, y'all. It's a great book. Everyone should read it. I agree. Everyone should read it. Like I said, it's loaded, just loaded. Like it's so dense, you can't just read it once. You're not going to read unless you're David Wilcock. You're not going to remember it all in one sitting.
Don't tell me to sort it out, Fearless. I'm sorting, man. I'm sorting. I've been sorting since we got on here. We had to sort immediately. I think we're back now. I think we're good. Yeah, that was a good book.
100%. Dude, it goes all the
You
way back.
talk about that book. Oh, I feel like I've read the book. I haven't even read the book. Just listen.
It starts and I like it because the whole point of the book is to tell you about the Serpo mission, but no one's going to believe this unless we tell them how we got here, you know?
Right.
So it goes all the way back into the 1800s where all this shit started. And,
So
and
we get a whole we
you
get a
get the
narrative.
you get the full the yeah from the 1800s.
There you
I
go.
always talk about the Green, the Black Dragon Society, the Tibetan monasteries, whatever. All that shit goes all the way back.
Well, that's what we need is some backstory. Well, it looks like we're still good on Rokfin. What up, Rokfin fam? Sorry I haven't said hello to you guys today. Hello. And DLive and Twitch. I don't forget about you guys. It's just there's a problem. Like if I start clicking things, shit goes left every time. So I can only watch so many things at once, guys. So much love to you watching on other platforms. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I've read the book, even though I haven't read the book, Piler, because after doing this with you for like what, it's been like a year.
I
I mean,
always refer to this book.
yeah,
Always.
you constantly are pulling the book
It's
and reading
it
sections of the book. I
never
feel
lets
like I've
me
read the book.
down. It never lets me down when I'm in need of a trivia question.
Uh, Aaron Moriarty says they had to freeze you in order to clone you. I'm actually an algorithm. I don't know if you know this, but I'm a bot. Okay, I'm AI generated. You know, I'm a robot. I work for robots. It's the craziest thing. Like we don't really know. So they can't really clone me, I don't think, right? They would just I don't know how that would work. Yeah. So I've got a quite crazy question for you. This is kind of new. This is also from the news. Okay. What did scientists recently determine can communicate with a language similar to that of humans? Okay. What did scientists recently determine can communicate with a language similar to that of humans? Was it A, dogs, B, trees, C, fungi, or D, goldfish?
Oh, I don't know. I wish I knew. I know I you've seen the goldfish where they put the goldfish in a bowl
Drive the
on a
car. It drives
yeah.
the little driving goldfish. That's wild, right?
Right. They let it explore, yeah, so they can swim wherever it wants.
Oh, guys, they want to know about the book, Piler.
Who's the author? Len Kasten, Secret Journey to Planet Serpo, a true story of interplanetary travel. Goes all the way back to the 1800s. It teaches you how this all started with the reptilians and the Germans and it goes all the way through World War I, World War II, how we ended up, Operation Paperclip, how we ended up over here. Talks about the UFO wrecks, but it gives fantastic details, and there's so much more than that too. I'm just skimming through it. The Los Alamos. I mean, there's all kinds of shit. And then eventually, then they get to the Serpo mission, and then you're essentially reading a journal or a log of these people, their trip to this planet, like a diary, basically, and it's absolutely fascinating. And then they were only supposed to go for 10 years, but they ended up staying 13 years because there was like 2 suns on that planet, and none of their time devices worked like properly. They didn't know how to keep proper time, so what they thought was 10 years actually was 13 years. Some of the people actually decided to stay and live out their life there. They didn't even come back.
Yeah, I wouldn't. There's no way I'm staying on an alien planet, man. You got to bring me home. Like, I don't even like going to stay at somebody's house. Like, just bring me home, right? Right? I don't even want to go
crash at my house tonight if you want. Like, no thanks.
Yeah,
I have one place I know how to sleep, and that's my bed.
That is it. That's it. Right. Yeah. All right. So, what did scientists recently determine can communicate with a language similar to that of humans? Was it dogs, trees, fungi, or goldfish? I am seeing trees, dogs. Fearless Me is riding with dogs. Frightening Me. Sorry. Fearless is going with fungi.
Oh, yeah, right. I didn't even. I forgot we were doing a question.
Did you take a guess? Did you guess?
Fungi. I'll go with fungi because I'm a fun guy.
Right. I think Hang 10 Alien Surfer had made a little, like, he's the one that made the talking lizard for me in the beginning.
Yeah.
And he made me a robot rants for when I do robot rants, but he had also made one somewhere that was saying that. It was like, I'm a fun guy, and it was a talking mushroom. Oddly enough, that is the answer. It is C, fungi. So this is crazy. It's crazy that I can literally go to the news to get questions for conspiracy theory trivia. Um,
Well, it's the mycelium network.
right? Like Star Trek Discovery, right? It's the
Right.
mycelial network, man. It's true. So apparently fungi have been recorded having conversations, right? A scientist found that they can communicate with a language similar to that of humans. So over the last decades, researchers have found evidence that plants are able to communicate. We know this, right? There was research published in 2019 that even suggested that they screamed when they were cut. Now,
Mhm.
fungi are not plants, they're not animals, they have their own kingdom, right? It includes yeast, mold, and mushrooms. So this guy, Andrew Adamski, from the Unconventional Computing Laboratory at the University of West England in Bristol, said that he started looking for language in fungi just out of curiosity. Right? He had previously found that slime mold exhibited apparent cognitive abilities via spikes of electrical activity, so he wanted to see if fungi did the same. And I don't know if you remember, the walking slime mold that they had found, they were doing experiments on it in, I think, France. So I don't know if he was involved in that or not, but I mean, that they were saying that that thing was showing it could solve mazes and do all kinds of weird shit. It has to be an alien. I'm sorry, I'm convinced that is an alien, but whatever. So this guy was curious and he wanted to see if fungi could do the same thing. So in his current position, what he does is he creates these prototype devices that use like biological, chemical, and physical substrates. He said that if he wanted to make a fungi based computing device, he needed to understand how information was transferred by the fungi. Um, some parts of the substrate include living mycelium, which sense environmental cues, they make decisions about their environment. It's done via electrical activity. So, in his study, what he was doing, he got 4 different species of fungi: ghost fungi, enoki fungi, split gill fungi, and caterpillar fungi. He prodded the specimens with electrodes and recorded the changes in their electrical activity. He published his findings, and what he found out was that these things were apparently exhibiting a vocabulary of around 50 words, and the word length was similar to that of humans in
Hmm.
language, right? He said there were differences in terms of complexity between species, with ghost fungi and split gill fungi having a larger lexicons. They had more words.
Well,
These this is
I've heard like the Avatar movie is apparently disclosure of that, like that whole mycelium
the
network.
tree, and
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that you
But
could
and
link
how
into the
there's a,
tree. And
a language there. Yeah, actually. But
thanks, Kitty Woo, for the cookie. Thank you for the gold pill, love, guys. It's crazy, right? Though I mean,
right.
it makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense. I mean,
100%.
they could be indicating to each other, the presence of like an attractant or some sort of a repellent or insect colonies or
Right.
threat or whatever. Like,
Exactly.
I mean, 50 words,
Right.
you, you can probably do a
Right.
decent amount with a combination of 50 base words.
Yeah, exactly. There can be like whenever apparently like if a tree's cut down, like the other trees feel it as well, you know. Um,
Man.
pretty wild. If we had awareness of all that, this planet would be a different place.
Oh, are fearless and frightening me gonna be friends now? That's good combo, right? Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, fungi, 50 word lexicon, and they can put the words together in different ways and have conversations and shit. And they scream when they're cut. So all you vegans out there that love putting mushrooms, like eating just fried up mushrooms, Alara does that shit all the time. I told her the other day, I'm like, this shit is screaming when it's cut. Just know that, please.
um,
You know I like to pick on the vegans and the vegetarians.
who doesn't? That was my favorite thing to do before I stopped eating meat for a year.
All right.
Now I get it. Everybody's different, but we're all one.
We are all one.
I'm trying to find my.
What up, Canadian? What up, Groot?
Oh yeah, here it is. All right, trying to find my literature for this last question. This is my last question that I have. I only have 5 today.
Oh, no worries.
I was babysitting,
Yes, Aaron, talk
learning
quietly.
about Barbie mermaids and gemstone dolphins.
If you don't know about him, Tyler, I don't know what you're doing with your life. This is important information, right?
It
She,
is.
she was trying to tell you.
The gemstone dolphins are extremely rare.
Yes, extremely rare.
All right. In what year and under what original name was Area 51 constructed?
Ooh.
In what year and under what original name was Area 51 constructed? A. 1961 Nevada Test Site. B. 1951 S4. C. 1955 Paradise Ranch. D. 1945 Dreamland. And one
I
of these
mean,
was an actual official name while it was under construction. So
I've heard it referred to as Dreamland. I mean, obviously S4 is there. I mean, but I've heard it referred to as Dreamland. You said 1945 in Dreamland?
yeah, so
I'm going with that.
1961 Nevada Test Site, 1951 S4, 1955 Paradise Ranch, 1945 Dreamland. And that would be the original year of construction for Area 51 under the original name. So we have a C, D, D, A, D, C seems right. The answer is
Oh, I'm probably wrong.
it is C. Keystone got it.
Ah,
Paradise Ranch.
you know what?
And
When you said that, you looked up at the camera, and that was my first. That was my
see,
first guess. I
good
was like,
with
he
it.
looked up, he knew that that was the answer, and then he looked back down and kept reading. I should have went with that, right?
Sometimes I pick up on you doing stuff like that too. I'm like, that one's the answer. But I actually quit paying attention. I used to do that a long time ago. I quit
Try
paying
to read
attention.
my because I knew
Yeah,
you were, and I would mess with you.
right.
That's funny.
There's one. So it was actually there was a bunch of nicknames for it. Which one of them was Dreamland, the Nevada Test Site, Training Range, Watertown, Home Base, Homey Airport, S2, S3, S4. Um, but during construction, they named it. What did I say? Paradise Ranch, to specifically attract construction workers to the project, so they can.
Well, that's tricky.
So they can have they wanted to make it attractive for employees,
Yeah, come
for
work
people.
at Paradise Ranch. It's gonna be great,
Exactly.
man.
Exactly. It was a way to get people in to come literally work on the place. I can't find that part of the article where it says that now, of course. Oh, here. Uh, when it was constructed in 1955, this base was originally named Paradise Ranch to make it more appealing to construction workers and attract personnel. And it goes on and tells you just, details about it. But it does have the longest runway on the planet, apparently.
Imagine that. Well, I guess you'd probably need the longest runway on the planet there,
Right.
right?
Yeah, there's not too much more about that question.
Oh, Frightening Me said, I've missed a few tonight. Nice questions. Right? Good. We're doing our job. All right. It's already 9:26 because we missed some time. We'll do one more. Guys, I would hang out longer, but of course I have to go back to work. Let me see. All right. From what civilization did the myth of the unicorn emerge? What civilization did the myth of the unicorn emerge? Was it A, the Indus Valley civilization, B, the Sumerians, C, the ancient Mayans, or D, the ancient Egyptians?
I'm gonna go with the Egyptians.
All right, unicorns. Where'd they come from? Right? And while we're letting little Andrew, let me go over here and give them their scratching on the Foxhole. If you have any more gold pills you want to throw, guys, now's the time to do it. If you want to donate directly, you can do that at loyal2thefoil.com, or my Cash App is listed in the description below. That's enough of that. So you're saying the Egyptians. All right.
Sure.
The scratching should be released. Let's see. What are we getting? A, B, D. They're all over the board with this one, huh? The answer is the Indus Valley. civilization, right?
Really?
Yes, oddly enough. This is okay. So this is between the Indus Valley civilization was 3300 BC to 1300 BC. So obviously the unicorn is like one of the most famous mythical creatures, right? Everybody knows what it is. Uh, a lot of people believe that it actually existed. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, we've got what narwhals got horns and shit. Like maybe,
Right.
who
It's
knows?
pretty plausible among all the cryptids and
Yeah, I
elementals.
mean
Like,
it's not that far out there, right? So,
right,
unicorn imagery dates back to the Indus Valley civilization, South Asia, which included parts of modern day Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India. Right? A side profile they found of what looks like a horse with a single horn appears on seals from that period. Okay, now these images were maybe depictions of aurochs, which is a now extinct wild ox, according to the St. Neots Museum in England. Um, there were written Chinese descriptions of an Asian unicorn that date back as far as 2700 BC, according to the American Natural History Museum in New York. But this unicorn seemed to be a combination of different animals. It had like the body of a deer, the tail of an ox, and some kind of multicolored or scaly dragon like coat, and a flesh covered horn, sometimes horns, right? Um, which I guess is similar to what they were in later European records. But the first recorded mentions of unicorns in Western literature wasn't until the 4th century BC, when they wrote down tales from Indian travelers. So this goes back again to the Indus Valley civilization anyway, where they were describing these, they called them wild asses with white bodies. They had blue eyes, red heads, and a multicolored horn that was like a half a meter long. Can you imagine running around with like a half a meter long horn sticking out of your head? Um, yeah, so originally from India, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Indus Valley civilization. I wouldn't have thought that. I would have went with the Egyptians, possibly like
right. You know, here's my thing
Sumerians,
about
maybe.
all these animals that supposedly don't exist. Um, and you hear this argument a lot, but when you look at sea life, like shit that lives deep down under the ocean,
Wild.
it's absolutely wild, and it looks so exotic that if you were to show somebody that who was unaware, if you were to tell somebody that this is from another planet and they didn't, they could potentially believe you, or they'd be like, oh, that looks so fake, there's no way that's real. But like, actually, no, this is found in our own ocean. Like this stuff
Hmm.
is ET looking. It
Well,
is so far, like, it's some of these creatures are absolutely impressive, and it just like beyond the stretch of imagination what they're capable of and what they're doing, things we don't even envision when we think of extraterrestrials, but they're here on Earth. Like,
right.
what is out there, what's really out there.
Well, what's crazy to me is they say this was something on a seal thousands of years ago. Now, most of the time, like when you think about cave paintings, images that come from prehistoric civilization, they were pretty utilitarian about the things that they presented. Like they didn't have time to just be painting things for the sake of painting things. They would paint what they saw to tell a story, right?
Right,
Which is one of the
survival
questions,
mode, yeah.
right? I mean, they're not like making up shit and just painting it on the wall, which is one of the arguments that whenever like the ant people that are painted in Native American, that
Right,
eh, you know, who nobody made that up.
right,
Like as far nobody made that up. It was there. There's something to it. They painted what they saw. You know.
right,
I don't know,
100%.
man. I don't know.
Well, imagine if our civilization gets wiped out and a new
Oh Lord,
civilization comes back and finds writings from our time. They're gonna be fucked. Because
completely.
we do everything just for fun. Like,
I know they'll be
right,
completely lost. Like what the hell was
right.
wrong with these people?
Oh,
Absolutely.
they'd be out there like there'd be a whole history classes that Pokemon are real.
Right.
They
Right. That
find a Yeah, they'll find a like a Pokemon index book or something and be like teaching
right.
future
They
civilizations about.
cataloged these things. Look at
Yeah,
this.
yeah, they catalog them. Yeah, why would they waste their time
Right.
if it wasn't real? Yeah,
Right. Right. They made plushies and everything else out of them.
right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, what's going on? So you are not going to be here with me next Friday.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break until post conference, which is actually right around the corner. So,
And the link to if you guys haven't got your tickets, it should be, yep, it should be down here in the description right here. Secret Space. Go ahead.
Conference.info, secretspaceconference.info. Guys, I know it's right. It's like 17 days away or something like that.
Ooh, getting close.
So we realize it's right around the corner. So if you can't actually travel there, there's plenty of you can grab a live stream ticket, watch it. The live stream experience is going to be awesome. I've been working day in and day out with the sound guy, the live stream guy, and he's making sure this is going to be done right. So I'm really excited about that. So if you feel compelled, grab a live stream ticket, come hang out for the whole week. If you can find a place to stay, there's a ticket for you. If you just want to come for a day or two, we have day passes available now. Those don't include the meal plan. Those are only $66. And
awesome.
Right. So, but the day passes are not available on the website. Those are you just show up and purchase them on site at the registration table. So there's plenty of room for all you guys. It's a big place.
I'm sure it will be great. I wish I could come hang out. I have to freaking work all 3 jobs, which sucks. Well, I think that I might have Severe Anon coming on with me while you're on hiatus to do some conspiracy theory trivia either next week or the week after that, however it works out. So guys, keep an eye out for that. What else? If you haven't, go over and make a free account and follow me on Rokfin. Put your email in. Give me a follow over there. There's a ton of good content creators over there. Guys, I really want to try and support these free speech platforms. Please. We talk about such crazy shit here. No telling how long I'm going to be on YouTube. So do that if you think about it, if you have a minute. And
good news about YouTube is Carrie Cassidy got her channel back.
Oh.
So what I don't know how that's happened, but it's maybe YouTube is maybe they're just getting tired. The employees are probably like, can we just please have a break?
I know, right? Like, do we have to do this again? Right?
Right.
Right? Yeah, Canadian. I think he is. We talked about it earlier. So, all right, guys. Well, we love you. And until next time.
Right. Good night, guys.
Yeah, they'll totally think Pokemon were a thing here.
Right.
Oh, they'll think there were 50. They'll be like, what are these? Like, these people have multiple sex organs. What's wrong with these people? They'll be all kinds of confused.
Oh, shit.
I don't know.
You're going to find a fidget spinner and be like, what was this used for?
Right.
Oh, man, everything. They'd be lost. I would not want to be one of those people.
Man, what if all written records were destroyed and all they found, they come and the only thing they had to go through were, like, I don't know, whatever, trash heaps or something like that would be so confusing. I mean, that's all that's left anyway. It's trash after a while.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Landfills.
Right.
They excavate what they think is an ancient civilization and it's a landfill. What is this?
Right.
They found like a washer or a dryer or something. Like, what was this?
Right. Maybe this was some primitive cooking device.
Right. Good night, everybody. Are we still live?
I'm cutting it off now. Deuces.